Hello everybody, today we are making DISTASIO design Christmas ornament. I think it looks like it could be from 1970s, 1972, 75 or something, packaged in USA. So it's just a regular kind of kit that you can pick up in a thrift store. So let's take a look inside. We have a ball, just a regular styrofoam bowl here, and we have some beads. So let's take a look. There's a main bead cup here, and also we have some pearl beads, I guess 65 pieces or so. So let's just put them all into little containers here. We have small kind of this oval pearl beads, and we have some sequins. They're okay quality, looks like. Very good quality, small short pins. And we have some green seed beads here. Okay, and some more glass beads. I don't know what they're called exactly, but so let's just put them all into little containers here. Oh, packed in Taiwan. Well, that's interesting. Taiwan doesn't pack those kits anymore nowadays, do they? So let's organize what else we have here. Oh yeah, so there's this trim, very nice, very good quality. I like it, it's very bright. And we have this gold trim, something you don't see nowadays. It looks totally different. And this gold cord is kind of coarse and I don't like it. Anyway, and then there's this two main embellishments. They're metal, they're very light. So let's just organize everything and take a look. First I start with usually evaluating the instructions. So this looks like it's pretty well written, unlike we did the Walco design before. So this ornament called Green Dream Boutique Ornament Kit. So they actually show you all these combinations that we will need to push into the ornament. And this is make your own boutiques for fun, profit, fundraising, home decor, and Christmas decor. And look at this lovely columns on each side, quite pretentious. Anyway, I like to start evaluating the ornament itself, and you know, the older from 1970s these bowls, they're very poor quality, perhaps because it wasn't packaged by itself. It was kind of like thrown together with all the materials, so I think maybe that's why it got damaged. Let's weigh it. It feels really light, which I don't like. I like to have in my ornaments, I like to have some substance. So it's only 9.3 grams. So you can have understanding of what we're dealing with. So now the texture is very rough. You know, you see it has this main ridge that runs across, and the threads are very thin, and there's not too many of them. So everything is visible. You know, you can see, I don't know if you can see very well, but there's also some kind of like little black spots. There is glue, and it doesn't look very good, to be honest. And I'm not a big fan of those old ornaments. And they also poke it with a big pin, usually a dressmaker pin, and you can hear that sound. You can also dent it very easily, you see. So anyway, now I'm going to start. I'm reading the instructions, and it told me that divide ball into 2 equal sections with peasant braid going from top pole of core around bottom pole. But you know, I'm trying to kind of confirm it to the shape of the bowl, and you can see that the trim is quite beautiful, but it's very rigid, and I'm trying to stretch it across so it would kind of like, you know, repeat the shape of the ornament, but it just doesn't. It's just too wide, you know. So I think that's a big mistake right there. If they just had it like a little narrow or something, you know, but it doesn't work. You can see there's all this slack here that I'm trying to take care of it, but I don't think I can. So now they want me to kind of secure this on the top and then use the gold heavy metallic cord and put it around the edges of this trim. Well, they're actually telling me to glue this cord to the sides of the trim, which I think is a very bad idea because you're risking to really ruin all the satin around, and they're saying to like glue it and then secure with pins and take the pins out when dry, but I think it's kind of too dangerous, so I'll just keep working. And then they want us to create a loop, and so to kind of hang the ornament. So instead of cutting the cord into two pieces, because you know I can't really do anything with the end of this cord, it's very heavy, very kind of it doesn't cooperate very well, so I'll just create a loop and then I will wrap it around the opposite side because I don't want to have 4 ends of this cord and I just want to have 2. And here I try to hide one underneath, but it's not a very neat kind of look, you know. I'm not kind of happy with it, but you know what, let's just go with the instructions so you will actually know what will end result be like. So I will work on the other side, finish the top, and then they want us to create a loop. And you know that this cord is very rough. I don't like how it hangs. I don't think it's going to work, to be honest. Anyway, we have to put it through that 3-tier plastic ring and also put a dressmaker pin with this gold bead through. But this gold bead, look at it, it's just such a poor quality. It's quite amazing. You know, the best quality here is the trim and the metal pins. The pins are very good quality because now when I'm trying to buy pins on Amazon, usually they're not very good quality. It's hard to find them kind of on the same, having the same shape of the head and all this kind of stuff. So let's go put it here. Well, no, I guess I gotta put it through the ring first. Okay, and so now we can secure it. I should have put that end of this cord under that 3-tier ring, but anyway, here we are. This is kind of like halfway done, I guess. So the next one, we need to center medallion, metal medallion in one section, secure in place with a unit of rocaille bead, a roundel bead, and an 8mm sequin on a 3/4 inch pin. Well, do we have longer pins? Just the corsage pins, I guess. I mean, all the pins are pretty much the same, so okay. I wish I could kind of like I had a colored picture where I could see better, but I think this is how it's going to be done. So the center is secured. You know what, I'll just put everything on my napkin. It's easier to thread my pins through the beads. So let's just take a second here. And so we will have 20 units of rocaille bead and 3x6mm oat. I guess that's what those little oblong pearls are called. And so we're just going to put some around the center and the rest around the perimeter. Okay, I'm just checking how many rocailles we have, and I'm not sure. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. They actually look the same to me. So let's go and follow the instructions. So I will just use the ones that I have more of because it looks like they go around the perimeter of this metal medallion. Well, to be honest, the medallion is barely hanging in there, but I guess the more beads and pins I push in, the more secure it will become, because you can't leave it like this. It'll definitely just fall off. Not very secure. Either needs longer pins or glue. Okay, so here I have finished both sides. Okay, you know, it looks better than I actually thought it would, but that gold heavy trim just basically turn off. Anyway, so now what do they want us to do? Okay, we have to use this new trim, swirl braid. Again, they want you to glue it to create a ring, and then flatten on core, equally spaced around center design and between peasant braid, and then temporarily hold in place with pins. Oh, I guess they want us to glue that as well. So prepare 20 units of broccoli bead. So now we are going to secure it away from the center, placing against and in between pearl units on swirl braid. Okay, so I will have the instructions actually at the end of this video, so you can read them yourself, because I'm kind of reading and making at the same time, so maybe it's a little bit confusing. But here we are. I have to put them on that braid on the outer parts, and I think we're almost done. So now we have the bottom pin. What did they tell us? Yes, repeat the sections. So yes, now we just have to finish the bottom with the corsage pin. And again, you know, looking at that gold bead, oh gosh, it's just of the worst quality. I mean, just take a look at it. It's just terrible. Yeah, I remember those times. The beads used to be just awful, so cheap. Anyway, let's find the middle and make it kind of symmetrical. I don't want to not do justice to this ornament, so I will try my best, although I can't keep poking the poor thing, because that eventually this corsage pin will just not stay in the bowl. So I have this much beads left and this many pins. So material wise, they've done pretty well. You know, there's not many leftovers. So here we are. Well, first of all, that metallic gold cord is just a no-no. It's terrible, I have to be honest. And then, you know, how everything is kind of cheap looking. That gold ring, it doesn't match the other gold. You know, like the gold bead is dark. Nothing stays in. They do tell you to dip some pins in glue. Already lost one actually. Yeah, I don't even know where it is. So they tell you to dip the end of the pin into glue, but it would leave the residue around the ornament, and you know, I'm not a big fan of it. Everything is kind of uneven, and I don't think I can make it that much better, to be honest. And it's just it doesn't go together. It's not very well designed. I am not impressed, to be honest. Oh, here it is. So I'm not impressed with this either design or the end result, and I am going to make it better. I'm going to actually create my own ornament using the same elements, but what I want to do is I want to use definitely a different satin ornament, because the ones that are actually produced now in the United States, they are very dense. They hold the pins in very well. They're also better quality. The satin threads are shiny but not too shiny, and they're wrapping the bowl very well in many more layers than the ones that in the 1970s were wrapped like. So here we are, poor bowl. I opted in for black color because, as you can see, that the sides of the trim are black. So in case I don't find any solution for this trim to lay flat on my ornament, at least it won't be so visible, you know, like black on black. And I will just pin it in a few places and see how it looks. I guess in the 70s they didn't have the double-sided tape, but that's what I like using because it gives you a very nice clean cut. And you can see that the seam where the ends of the trim meet is almost invisible. So perfect, double-sided tape is the ticket. And I also went for horizontal placement of my trim and not the vertical. And you know what, I think I have enough sequins just to go around the trim and press those unruly edges, you know, and I think this will look pretty good because the sequins are the same color as the trim and as the medallions. The rest of the elements are kind of like richer, more yellow gold, so I don't know. Anyway, so here I finished and I like it. I think it looks pretty decent. Now let's see if I would like to use that trim, but the braided one. It's just a different color and it's kind of the shape. I don't like how it goes. And just to double check on the metallic trim, because I usually, when I remake those old ornaments, I try to use as much as I can and substitute very little. Usually just the plastic beads to glass beads and, you know, maybe an ornament itself, but I just do not like it. It's just such a poor quality. So okay, we are not going to use it. That's it. And now we have these medallions, and since I decided to put them on top and on the bottom, which they should have done actually, because that would hide all the glue that was spilled there just to keep those threads together. Anyway, but to keep it flat, I decided to cut it because that will give me an ability to kind of mold it to the shape of my ornament. So let's just work a little bit here and there. So I just bent little pieces, and then I'm going to use pearl beads and green seed beads just to kind of keep it in place. Here I have finished the bottom, and now I will be doing the top the same way. I also added a little chain which I put in the middle of this medallion. So now we have these beads, and I decided to substitute the gold naturally. That gold bead, it just has to go. So I just found the same kind of size pearl, and I'll just use that instead, and I will use their dressmaker pin. Before I start putting more beads around the top, I just want to make sure that my large pearl fits, you know, and then I will start putting the rest of them around that big pearl, you see. And now I have finished pretty much top to bottom, and I put 2 pearls on top and the bottom, and I still have some beads left, so I have decided that maybe I can kind of go 1 more row around the top here and 1 more around the bottom. Well, after that I still have some beads left. Take a look. I think it looks quite luxurious. I like how it is close to the top, creating these crowns, because I'm not a big fan of when in the 70s and 80s they put those bugle beads around medallions in the front. I just don't like it. So I have calculated, and I have enough pearls, so I'm going to divide them by 2 and have the same amount on top, and on the bottom this little round pearls with sequins. I think it actually kind of adds a little bit to the design. And I also have those red beads left, so I have decided to redo my top. I added this couple of bead caps, the gold ones, and I thought just a little bit of that little red sparkle on the top and bottom would actually look pretty good. You know, it was kind of the original idea to have that little green, that little red sparkle. So I'll just redo both sides here, okay? And I actually still had small green seed beads left, so I decided to put them on outer edge of the medallion. And I'll see if I have enough for the top and the bottom, but so far it looks pretty good. I just like to keep adding little intricate details, and I also like that my ornament weighs a lot more with so many more pins. I did add pins. I like my own pins, so I like the longer ones. And also I was looking, and maybe I can put a little bit of a sequins here with the green seed beads, and it will give it a little extra sparkle when it's hanging on a tree. And it also, you saw that I covered once more that seam that I have where the trim ends meet. And believe it or not, I actually still have some beads left, just enough pearls to go around a couple more times. So why not? I have decided to use everything just like it was used on the original ornament. But so far this is what we have here. So alas, I don't think I can use any more of those beads, and this is pretty much all I'm going to do. So take a look at my finished design. What do you think? Leave the comments below, please. I'm actually very interested. You can also visit my blog on whim5seasons.com, and I will have a blog per YouTube video where we can talk about the process, exchange ideas. Well, I hope you liked the video, and now you know that you can create beautiful ornaments even from those old kits. But be prepared, you have to use a lot of imagination. Happy crafting, and I hope to see you soon when we will be reassembling another vintage ornament. Bye bye.